We'd like to welcome each and every individual to Voices of Integrity podcast for the Top Gun Sales Bootcamp training. And today is going to be a special session. And so we're going to be working with Kevin on the ART system, the atomic ripple reaction tree. As you all know, and if you want to make a lot of money in sales, you do it through leverage. So hopefully you've been through or going through the course of leverage. Hopefully you internalize that. And so the ART tree, the atomic ripple reaction tree, will help you do that. It'll help you gain leverage. And so, great, Nora, that you were able to overcome walls of opportunity. So we had some in northern Indiana. Last night we had some pretty significant storms that knocked out power and stuff. And so Nora doesn't have power, but she still figured out how to join us. So good work on that, Nora. It actually comes from that concept comes from the Flawless Thinking book, which is about pilots actually in the Air Force. And so planes are crashing, $1 million planes are crashing, and pilots were dying. That's a serious problem to win a war. So they put together this program to figure out why. And phenomenal book. It's not really a complicated book. I mean, it's not long, but it's one of the best books I've ever read. And it talks about how you anticipate all the different possibilities, and you always have like, okay, here's a strategy. If that doesn't work, here's a backup strategy. If that doesn't work, here's a backup to the backup strategy. And so essentially it's like, I will not be denied. I will go ahead and make sure I accomplish what I want to accomplish. And so Nora, let's start off with you. Anything specific you want to cover today?
No, my numbers were 33% for yesterday. I will not be able to stay on here for long.
Yep.
Just because of phone battery reasons.
Yep.
Um, but no, I don't think so.
All right. And Stan Lambert, thank you, Stan, because he had given me 2 power packs. And so one of those power packs, Stan, got pushed over to given to another pilot. So thank you, Stan, for helping to make that happen today. Kenny, what you got?
Um, I was thinking last night when I got woken up by the storm, I was like, I had this idea previously where like if we could just send out our guys and do repair work.
Right? Like most people don't like storm and damage. You should have seen these guys. You should have seen these guys at pickleball yesterday. I mean, and the gals, they were, they're retired people, so they're over 60. And they were talking about the storm and the amount of damage that happens. And so there is so much opportunity on that. It's insane. Great idea.
You can come put up a shop here at my house.
Nice.
A what?
Most people want to repair things. Nora, she wants to build things. Like, yeah, let's build something.
The big shop is flat here.
Oh,
Wow.
what about your garage? Is your garage okay?
Surprisingly, that only got hit just a little bit by one of the pieces. But there's like 4 trees down and the big shop is flat.
Okay. Like I'm trying to visualize like what happened there. Like was it the wind? Was it a tornado? What was
It's
it?
probably a twister or a tornado. I'm surprised the house is still standing, not gonna lie.
There you go. Well, we have thankful that Nora and Lincoln are still safe. Like yipper. Yipper. It's crazy. Okay. Anything else, Kenny, you got?
I thought about I was I woke up and it was like, maybe I should go to the basement. It's a little windy. There's no big trees around. I'm tired. I'm just going back to sleep.
Nice strategy.
I know it worked out fine. I didn't
It
even
worked.
lose power. I don't think.
Right. I mean, it's like next time, what am I going to do? I'm going to do the same exact thing. Why? Well, I didn't die.
Yep.
And so, yeah, I got woken up last night by my watch and my phone. It was like
Well,
there's an
that's
emergency
yeah.
and a tornado, I guess, touched down in Bristol. And so I'm like, yeah, I think I'll go downstairs. And so I did, which is fascinating, isn't it? Like, I mean, Rosanna, she was still up when I got woke up, and she was on her way to get me up and take me downstairs just to make sure that I went down. And so isn't it fascinating? You'd think that somebody who's 62 years old wouldn't be so caring of his life. Like, he's 62, he's lived a pretty full life. Like, if he dies, eh. And you'd think a 25-year-old would be like, dang, I got my whole life in front of me. I like I don't want to die. I'm gonna take some precautions. Nice. Anything else? Any you got?
No.
All right. So Kevin, we're gonna devote Kevin today, and so welcome Kevin. In Dreamscape, you've got a Dreamscape channel, and then there's different groups here, Kevin. And so one of those groups is team member group. And so then there's podcasts here. So we are talking about, Kevin kind of triggered this where, he went ahead and like when I was, this is going to just blow you guys' mind because this will prove that I actually was a child. So my children said, Dad, you never were a child. You just were born into this world as an adult. I'm like, I don't think so. So I was probably about 9 years old or something, maybe 7, maybe 5. I don't know. I was young. And I don't know, I found a 22 bullet. And naturally, as a little boy, it's like, I wonder what would happen if I went ahead and hit this 22 bullet, with a hammer. Or Kenny's laughing because he's been. It's a miracle. It is a miracle that men are on this planet. Like it is a miracle because boys do the stupidest thing. So I don't know. I mean, what else do you do with a 22 bullet? And I hit that thing, and I'm telling you, it shot. I mean, it was like somebody could have died. Like it's just like, and I remember thinking, Mark, what are you thinking? Like I don't remember how old I was, but I knew when I hit it and it shot. I mean, I knew. I'm like, Mark, and I think I was 5. I think I was 5 years old when I went ahead and my dad had an electric shaver, and so all of you are like, huh, Mark was a boy. So there was a tweezers in the bathroom and his electric shaver with the thing. I'm like, I wonder what happens if I put the tweezer in the electric. I found out what happened. So Kevin went ahead and had an opportunity to go ahead and, cut a line. Like, wonder what's in this line. Only one way to find out. Cut it. So, and it's funny, kind of, but it can be life threatening. Somebody can, get hurt or die or maimed or something. And so that's what kind of triggered this whole thing and moving forward. So in the team members, if I click on here, there's vision, and so there'll be different topics. And so I don't know, Dreamscape should have what? I don't know, something about safety. Like here's some, like, I don't know, maybe they didn't learn their lesson when they were 9 years old like me or 5 years old. Like you don't put things in sockets. There's a dad that I know, he's interesting. He knows a lot more about electricity than I do. You guys know him, at least Kenny and Nora does. I don't think he would mind if I gave his name, but I won't, just to be, because I don't want to throw him under the bus. And so once his 5-year-old son, had a screwdriver or something and put it into the socket. And he looked at it, saw it all was happening. And see, I don't know enough about electricity. I'm thinking, yeah, that could kill. Don't want to. But he's like, he'll learn. And he stuck it in and zapped himself. And what did he do again? He's like, he'll learn. It's like he didn't. He stuck it in again. Like he stuck it in a second time. And he zapped it. He's like, he's like, okay, well, second time he'll learn. So what did he do a third time? He did it a third time. I said, how old is the son now? I think he said he's like 35 or something. I said, so is he still like that? He says, oh, yeah. I'm like, jeepers. Anyways, so Kevin is going to go ahead and we'll get Kevin this. And so here, Kevin's going to go ahead and be the art founder. And so he's going to be the art founder. And then Kenny's going to be the goal setter, and Luke's going to be the follow-up expert. So Kenny's going to be the goal setter, Luke's going to be the follow-up expert. And then Elaine's going to be the communication. So we need to get somebody in to drive. Role 3 is drive and discipline. Role 4 is accountability. Role 5 is teacher and student. So once you get these 7 roles, once you get these 7 roles, and so Kevin, you are the art founder, so you can go in and you can click on your role. And when you click on your role, you'll go in and there's a short video, so it's not much time. And
my router just died, so I wasn't on for like the last couple.
No, minutes. It's fine. Yeah, no, I know. And so I just filled in the gap with some of the other stuff. So here's this video that you'll do, and so Luke or Kenny should be able to help you with this. And so it's a 6-minute video on what your role as the founder is. Then you would read this right here, and then you can click on this here. So the thing that's most important, and Kevin, that I have found that if you don't know what to do, my dad said when I was, 9 years old. So these are all lessons. I don't know that people either experienced these. They didn't have a childhood or something. My dad told me to go out and clean. I was 9 maybe. He said, Mark, go out and clean the garage. I go out and the garage is a mess. I mean, I'm just standing there overwhelmed and I don't know what to do. Like I'm just standing there. And my dad comes out about 5 minutes later and says, what are you doing, Mark? And I'm like, I'm cleaning the garage. He's like, no, you're not. You're standing doing nothing. And I'm like, well, Dad, I don't know what to do. He says, Mark, when you don't know what to do something. I'm like, oh, okay, Dad, copy that. And so another great lesson, for people, because a lot of times I don't know people. And so if you don't know what to do something. If you don't know what to do, Kevin, ask. But always be moving. It's easier to change the direction of a moving car than one that's standing still. Does that make sense?
Okay.
So you have everyone has an art mentor and then 2 art buddies. So your art mentor is going to be actually role 30. That's me. That's the wizard or wizardess role. And so that's me. So I get to help you and direct you. So you have any questions, you come to me. You have any needs, you come to me. I'm responsible to help you to make sure you get what you need. Then you have 2 art mentor or art buddies. That's Kenny and Luke. So you're responsible to get Kenny to go ahead and do goal setting. And so what are the goals of Dreamscape? What are the goals of individuals? How does everybody have goals? Like, what are your goals for your life, your income, your, professional, your development, whatever it is. And then Luke, his role is to go ahead and do follow-ups. He's the follow-up expert. So these are the 2 buddies that you're mentoring. And then they need to each get 2 buddies too. So everybody has 1 art mentor and then 2 art buddies. Again, if you don't know what to do, Kevin, what should you do?
Do something.
Do something. And or ask. Say, Mark, I don't know what to do. I'm not doing anything. So when I go to somebody, Kevin, and I'm like, well, what are you doing? And they're like, well, I didn't know what to do. I'm like, I guess your dad didn't teach you at 9 what my dad taught me. Now, when you do something, Kevin, you always go ahead and let me know what you're doing. And it's not bad to let Kenny and Luke know too what you're doing. And so sometimes you have discernment and you can just do things, sometimes you can just do things. And, are you familiar with the saying, something about it's easier to ask forgiveness than permission?
I am not. No.
That's maybe an English term. So that's not always true. Sometimes you want to ask permission before you ask forgiveness. So you got to have discernment, right? Like, should I cut this line before I find out what's in it? I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's
Yes, that would be a good idea.
right. I mean,
Did
we can laugh.
did that situation then turn out to be the wrong line, or?
No, it did not. So the line wasn't active. It was just an AC that still had some coolant left over. And Luke and the homeowner told me I could cut it, so I cut it, and then, yeah.
So what's another thing that you can learn from that?
Make sure.
Right. Sometimes you don't trust your leaders or the customer. Oh yeah, no, that line isn't hot. No, we shut the power off. Yeah, 220. No, pick that bad boy up. So yeah, when it has to do with that. And so again, you start to learn it's better. Like my father-in-law, he's been in construction his whole life. And he would be, when he's training new people in construction, he would go ahead and say, measure twice, cut once. And so, as you get better at it, more confident at it, you don't need to measure twice because you're so good at it. But when you're brand new, and so this is where people who have more experience need to go ahead and understand, who's watching them. Like we went to an auction last night and and 4 of our grandkids were there and we were out and but there's a teepee out there and then there's this large ladder and this boy, he was probably, I don't know, 8 years old. And he was very considerate because he's like, he can climb the ladder safely ish. Like it's fine. But then Avery, who's what? I don't know, a year and a half or something, he probably shouldn't be climbing the ladder. His 2 sisters, could, but then they climbed on both sides. It got a little tippy. And it's like, yeah, you probably shouldn't do that. It was interesting with Ginger Ann, our oldest daughter, when we were at Coffee Connection last time, that Mikey went ahead and was, he was on the slide. He says, Mom, can I jump? She said, up to you, buddy, but you're probably going to get hurt. And he did jump, landed belly flat right on the ground and bounced. It's like, boom. And she went, so she gave him permission, but told him, you might get hurt. It's on you. And he bounced and he didn't break anything, but it hurt. What did he do? What little boys do, go do it again. His mom said, yeah, maybe not this time, buddy. But she's like, he's not crying because he knows it's on him. Good mom. That's just being a good mom. Let him hurt. Grandpa's just there. His mom's there. We'll see how it works. Grandpa probably would not have allowed that, but that's okay. It's his mom. And it worked out okay. This is the challenge, Kevin, I think, especially in young men. They go, well, I didn't die. And it's like, do you understand you only make that mistake once? You don't get a chance to die twice. Like you just don't. Like if you make a mistake and you die, that's it. Or somebody else does. And so, as you know, Kevin, you worked on our property. Everybody comes on our property. And Luke, he went ahead and, he had another young guy come over and working. I said, did you go ahead and did you train somebody? Did you talk to him about the rules and working on our property? He says, oh, I know. I trust this guy. You trust nobody. Like you come on my property. I'm the customer. Like everybody gets trained. You don't get hurt. Be careful about yourself and other people. So here is the system, Kevin, learn different roles. And so you'll learn how to be a founder. And then Kenny in goal setting and Luke in follow-up. And so there's 31 roles here, Kevin, that I have learned how to do in the last 40 years, plus years. And so you get these roles and you start learning these roles and then you learn how to teach. So Kenny's not going to do goal setting for everybody. Like when, I don't know if you guys set your goals like I did, like our first year of marriage, Kevin. Like maybe it was before we got married. I'm not sure. Probably before. Like I set up a spreadsheet and I said, want 7 kids. This is the time frames for all 7 of them. And, we hit those goals almost exactly. I mean, it was really interesting. So goals are really, really cool. And then, but talking about it, setting it is not enough. And you got to follow up. Like who's going to follow up on stuff? And then we need somebody who's going to drive. So you're responsible, Kevin, for the success of the overall art tree. If Kenny's not doing his job, if Luke's not doing his job, you either got to get them to get their job. Like, hey, Kenny, you got to help. You got to fill somebody's role and drive and discipline. If Kenny doesn't do it, you either have to get him to do it. You slide in sometimes like you do as a dad, when you have children, sometimes the kids don't do things. Sometimes you slide in and do them. Sometimes you make it. So with Kenny or Luke, you either get them to do what they're supposed to do, or sometimes you might slide in and do it for them, but train them in how to do it. Say, hey guys, I'll slide in to help you this time, but you got to pull your weight next time, or you've got to replace them. So what you do is somebody will show you how to move them to a different role. But you're 2 people here, and Kevin being a founder, it's the easiest and most exciting role of all 31 roles if you have good people. It's so easy, but my experience with people, Kevin, is they are not easy. So it's a hard role. You got to get everybody, pulling their weight. Have you ever done like a rope where you're pulling one team against another?
No, I haven't.
So there's this big old rope, and it's like a tug of war, and you have a flag in the middle, and you got to pull. Sometimes they have mud pits and stuff, and so you have one team and another team, and they're pulling the teams, and whoever can pull the other team. And the key is, have you done the 3-legged race?
No.
Man, we got to get you doing some of these things. Like you haven't lived life until you've done a tug of war with a mud pit. Like it's the coolest thing to pull a bunch of people into mud, So it's pulling together. You hold and then you pull together, and then you hold and then you pull together. The 3-legged race is you tie your left foot and somebody else's right foot together, and then you race against other people. It's a cool thing. So you put your arm around them, they put your arm, and you have to get into sync. You can really run fast, but if you get out of sync, then you crash and fall, and that's equally fun to see other people doing it. So there's things, Kevin, in Dreamscape Creations that you'll create team building activities. Like, how do we work together as a team? Like when Kenny, Luke, and I were in Bern, I think it was, or whatever it was, And he said he had 2 crews. The owner of this company said he had 2 crews, and one crew was 20 or 30% faster than the other. Not so much because they were better skilled, it's because they worked in flow. They worked in flow. And so teaching people how to work in flow is really important. And there's some great, and so what you do, Kevin, is don't assume because you know something, you've learned something, you've experienced something that anybody else on the team has learned or experienced that. So there's things that you were taught as a boy, learned as a boy, that other young men have not been taught. So it's called unconscious competence. Like you're smart, you don't even know it because your parents, or you observe things. You hit a 22, she said, that was stupid. So Kenny has unconscious competence. And so different people have different things. So what you do is you take your lessons, you bring them together, and then you help people go through. And learn how to do these things. And that's where you get the podcast. And so you have different categories. You might have something for roofing. You might have something for carpentry. You might have something for electric. You might have something for building teams. You might have something for customer service. Typically, you have 3 to 5 categories. So you'll get a lot of help in this, Kevin. The key is, obviously, the more you put into the role, the more you're going to get out of the role. And then, I don't know, you put at least 15 minutes a week in. And you get everybody else, like 15 minutes. We have 10,080 minutes in a week. Like it's not that hard. So you go ahead and get 10,080 minutes in a week, do 15 minutes. And so the goal is for every hour you put in, you get 3 hours back. So you have an abundance. Like I own 9 companies and I have 20 to 30 hours of free time a week. Why? It's because of how I think. So when I was your age, Kevin or Kenny's and Luke's age, I didn't know that. My parents didn't teach me how to get 3 hours back for every hour I invest. So I had 7 kids and, I'm working 60, 70 hours a week. And that's just part of being a business owner. Just like, I don't know, that's what business owners do. But when it got up to over 100 hours a week and we were homeschooling, and even though I was working 110-hour weeks, I still had time with the kids, tucked them in, had PERS, Bible study, went ahead and, went to all their events. So it's fascinating to me when men go ahead and say they don't have a balanced life when they're working. It's discipline. It's all about discipline. Anything else, Kevin, you got, sir?
No.
Kenny, anything else you have?
I don't think so. No.
So, this is the story behind art is bringing peace to the Middle East and serenity to South. It's how do you get in flow? How do you get crazy dancing man video? It's like, how do you go ahead and create a movement? How do we work together so we can accomplish so much more together than we ever could on our own? Hopefully this has been helpful to people. Share this with other people for sure. It's a really good one. So this will be one of the favorites for sure. But share this with other people. As we help other people accomplish things, we can accomplish so much more together than we ever could on our own. Have an amazing day. Bye-bye.